If you do not have a goal in mind when you start this journey, you are absolutely setting yourself up for failure. There's no way that you can reach a destination without first knowing where you want to go. If you set your North Star as north and you just know that you're going north, there are so many wrong directions that you could take on this path. In order to be successful, at some point, you got to be willing to get super specific with where you want to go, with what you want your destination to be, with what's the reason that you're putting in all of this work, that you're putting in all of this pain. Because if you do not have a purpose, a why, a truth, an objective truth as to why you are doing what you are doing, I'm sorry, bro, but it won't work. And I know this specifically because I was the type of person that said, I want to make more money. I want to be financially free. I want to be successful. I want barbering to turn into opportunities. But the problem with that is that none of those things are specific for the goals that you actually have. Financially free could mean a million different things. Making more money could mean a million different things. So you have to be very specific with what your goals are and what you want to accomplish in this world. The world will reward you for being specific, because if you do not even know where you want to go, there will be so many opportunities that come across your way that don't align with the ultimate vision that you have for yourself. That is the worst mistake that you can make when you run very far, very fast, very hard in the wrong direction. And so I had to learn, I can't just say that I want something just to say that I want it, just because everyone else says that they want it, because everyone claims to have it. When you look at your goals, you have to think, is this gonna keep me disciplined even when I have no motivation? Is this gonna force me to wake up every single day and give it every single thing that I have, even when I don't feel like it? Because that's the difference. You know you have a weak goal when you're not consistent, when you're not showing up every day. That means your goals ain't specific enough. They ain't real enough. Because if you knew that someone told you, hey, you got 3 months to make $10,000 in a month, or I'm gonna kill your entire family, that's more than enough of a reason for you to find every single way as to how you can make $10,000 in 1 month. But the problem is, a lot of times, people's why isn't strong enough. Their goals aren't specific enough, and their why isn't strong enough. So when it comes time to do the thing, to put in the work, they fall off. They're okay with being inconsistent. They're okay with not showing up. They're okay with not getting things done because they don't know where they're going. I want to make more money. I hear this all the time. I was the same way. I want to make more money. What does that mean? If you made $4,100 last month and you make $4,150 last month, is that really a win? According to your goals, yes, they are, because you made more money. But that's why it's super important to be very specific with the time frame, with the actual goal that we want. Because if you get more specific and you say your goal out to be like, this month I want to hit $5,000, either you hit it or you didn't. But when you leave something broad out there, like I just want to make more money, that leaves so much room for error. And I know you've been taught your entire life, oh yeah, you want to set goals that you can achieve, and the more goals you can achieve, the more you win. It's bullshit, bro. It's not about achieving the goals at all. It's always been about how can I grow as I go through this journey. It's not about the goal itself, because I promise you, as soon as you reach one, there's another one that you chase it right after, especially when it comes to money. There's always a better car. There's always a better house. There's always better shoes. There's always more. So your truth has to be rooted in something that's true. What is your purpose? Why are you doing this? What is the reason for all of this? I know where you at, bro. There's so many options out there today. You don't even know what to choose because there's so many. There's so many different ways that you can go. It's not like before. Before, people were satisfied with the smallest things. But nowadays, there's so much stuff on social media. There's so much stuff that other people show you, that other people talk about. Other things that you see people doing that we was never supposed to see. And so all of these things influence you into picking the right goals. Just because it worked for someone else, it doesn't mean that it's gonna work for you. So you have to sit there and you have to sit with yourself and say, man, what do I actually value? Why do I want to take over my city? Why do I want to be the best barber? Why do I want to be known by this clipper company? Why do I want to grow my socials? What is the purpose of these things? I want you to take every single goal that you can write down and ask yourself, why do I want this? Why is this important to me? What will this lead to? And that is what's going to help you in your journey, because it doesn't matter what it takes, what you have to do in order to get success. If you are not putting in the work, it doesn't matter. And I guarantee you the reason why you haven't been able to stay consistent, why you haven't been able to put in the work, is because that's not the real reason you want to do it. And so you feel this resistance of like, man, I know I'm supposed to be doing this, but I don't do it. And you have to ask yourself, why is that? And I'm here to tell you the reason for that is you don't have a strong enough why. For me, when my mother was getting out of jail and I realized that she was coming out soon, and my entire life while she was locked up, I said, Mom, don't worry, I'm gonna take care of you. I'm gonna take care of my sister. I started to realize that as she was getting out, I'm like, man, I'm not in the position I thought I was gonna be in by now. I'm not satisfied with where I'm at. And that's what forced me to become the dog that I am today. And I'm still improving, and I'm still searching for more whys, more reasons as to why I gotta give it my all. And life will expose this in you. And the best way that it does it is through consistency. It'll show you a lack of consistency to let you know, hey, this ain't enough for me. This isn't what I'm doing this for. You will respond to yourself. And I'm not saying that you're gonna wake up every day disciplined just because you know now the reason why you're doing it. But it's a much better direction than just hoping that things work out. Than just hoping that you're gonna wake up tomorrow motivated to do what you gotta do. In this life, it's not about being perfect. It's not about showing up with the awesome goals that everybody else has. It's about, how can I get myself to do the things that I don't want to do regardless of how I feel? That is what a man is. That is how you reach the goals that you aspire to that you have. There is no way around it. There's nothing else that you can do. But it starts with your why. It starts with your purpose. It starts with your goals. There's a version of you right now that has everything that you have written down in your goals. And it's not even about the goals. I want you to see it this way. Your goals are what allow for you to have clear action steps to take in order to really achieve them. It's not about the goal itself. If you can write down your goals and then write down what are the actionable steps I have to take every single day in order to achieve this, you will start to see that dream version of yourself is no longer far out. He's no longer all the way up here. You two are connected, and you're connected through the actions that you take every single day. Your actions determine exactly where you will go, because that is every route that you could possibly take. Your goals are the destination, but the routes and the lefts and the rights and the straights, that is ruled by your action. If you take no action, you will never reach anything. But if you have a goal, but it's just set as north and it's not specific, you could go north 3,000 miles away from your goal. And you're gonna end up somewhere where you have no clue how you got there, and it's nowhere near what you wanted, what you expected, or what you needed. It starts with your goals. I talk to too many people who have none. They're lost. And they're asking me for all this advice, and I can't help them because they don't have a reason as to do it, as to show up every single day and do the hard things. I have so many goals, but none of my goals are ruled by whether I complete them or not, or even whether I complete them in the time frame that I wanted. I don't care. What I care about is, did I complete the action steps that it took, and did I leave it all out on the table? That's what's gonna guarantee my success. It doesn't matter for real. Look at me. I'm walking across the beach right now, having a conversation with y'all. I'm walking past a bunch of people. At some point in time, this was something that to me was not possible. I would care way too much about what other people thought. I didn't want to look like that dude trying to be an influencer or trying to look like someone valuable. I couldn't do it. But my goal was not just to be able to do this. My goal was to feel comfortable in any room that I walk into. My goal was to be the light in every room that I walk into. To be able to communicate effectively regardless of the pressure, regardless of the circumstance. And I had a goal. I'm just gonna post a bunch of stories on my Instagram every single day. I'm gonna post content, record content with every single client. And through that, that's why I'm able to do this. That's why I'm able to have the knowledge that I'm able to give you guys. That way you don't make the same mistakes that I did. Where I spent years making these mistakes, not having goals, not having action steps behind the goals, and running into brick walls every single time, even though I had all the game that I needed. I had all the information. So I'm telling you, get your goals straight. The faster you could get your goals straight, that's really what's gonna make you successful. This life, it doesn't come from just doing what needs to be done. It comes from doing all the little things that everybody else skips over. I'm not here to bash you because I know exactly where you are. I know exactly how you feel. My number one goal in this life is to be able to help as many of you as possible. And the only way for me to do that is by being 100% honest with you. There is nobody that can help you until you know your goals, until you know your standards, until you know exactly why you're here, exactly what your purpose is. So I beg all of you, before you try and go out and get help in completing anything, you have to know, why are you here? Why are you putting in this work? Why are you putting in this pain? What's your purpose? Because when it comes to this life, it's very unforgiving. If you make a left turn, that's it. That's a left turn that you can't take back. You can't spin the block anymore on this. All you can do is continue going forward and taking that next step, that next direction, that next route. So get your goals set in place, man. You don't want to be lost out here like all these unks that you see that's doing the same thing for 20, 30 years, cutting hair behind a chair. It's because they never had a real goal and they never set out action steps underneath that. The only way for you to achieve the things that you want is by setting out action steps that you can take every single day. Life does not get fun until you're able to do these things on a regular basis. Until you make this a standard in your life that no matter what, you are going to show up, that you're going to do the work that it takes in order to complete these steps. This is why, to me, my 4 a.m. wake up time is such a big thing. I don't like waking up at 4 a.m. I don't like having to journal every single morning. Sometimes I don't want to wake up when I'm in good sleep. But the point is not that. The point is that I set out a goal to get as close to God as possible. And the way that I do that is by waking up every single morning at 4 a.m., spending time with Him, worshiping, praying, journaling, hosting a Bible study. And every single time, God calls me to become more. God calls me to do more. I'm not saying that I'm perfect. I'm far from it. But what I'm saying is I make it an intention every single day to show up and do the things that have to be done. I want you to start showing up for yourself in that same way. You wouldn't be watching this video if you wasn't serious about your goals, if you wasn't serious about becoming this person that you're looking to become. Don't look at this as motivation. I want you to see this and realize that God has a calling over your life, but it can't be done until you start putting the work in, until you start growing yourself. We're not sent here to be perfect, but we are sent here to make a difference, to leave an impact. And you can't do that if you're not taking actions. And you can't take actions unless you have a goal. But it starts with the goal. So I feel like I would be wrong to leave off this video without giving you an action step. What I want you to do right now, after watching this video, really think about the goals that you claim to have and ask yourself these questions. Why do I want that? What will this do for me? What will this goal lead to? You want those social media followers? Why? You want to make more money? Why? Why do you want to make $10,000 a month? Why do you want to get to $20,000 a month? That's the difference here. The faster you can learn to to set your goals and create these action steps and start implementing them and doing them every single day, the faster you can reach that higher level self that you want to reach. I'm not telling you this as someone that's just not doing it anymore, that's just above it. These are things that I do every single month. I look at my life and I say, man, where am I? Is this where I expected myself to be? What can I do better to get me to where I want to go? And that's the life that's worth living. That's a life that's truly successful. Because I don't find success anymore in the money like I thought. I don't find success in the even in the freedom, bro. I live in a beautiful country. I live in a beautiful country. But even the freedom that I have is not what I'm looking for anymore. What I'm looking for nowadays has everything to do with getting to the highest version of myself. It's with personal development. It's with personal growth. So to continue on the action steps, write out all these goals. Ask yourself those questions that I told you. But then write down 3 to 4 action steps that you can take every single day to ensure that you will reach that. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna turn this into a journal, and you're gonna write these action steps down, and you're gonna mix it in with your why as to why these things are important to you. And you're just gonna write this down every single day, and you're just gonna make this your daily standard. Every single morning before you do anything, before you hit the gym, before you go to work, you're gonna journal. And that's what's gonna help you reach these goals, because you need a daily reminder as to why you're doing what you're doing. And it's through that you will reach the most success, bro. I hope this helps you. Much blessings, much prayers to you, man. I appreciate you for even watching this. I really do hope that this makes a huge impact in your life, and this is the start of something beautiful for you. I promise you, if you want to be successful, take your goals seriously, be specific, and I promise you, God will reward you in the best way possible when you start taking action on them. God bless.